Hey everyone, Gardner here, Conscious Conversations from the Hero Within. Yes, conscious conversations, heart led, and as you will see today, a swift kick in the arse because you know you need it. I'm telling you, you need it. A kick in the keister. It's going to be a little bit of a vent, a little bit of love, a little bit of everything in between today. Just sharing some things that have dropped for me with some clients this week. Coming to the end of Thursday, it's been a challenging week. It's been a great week, just challenging for navigating what's showing up with the variety of clients that I work with, and a couple of things that I do want to just throw this out there for however this lands with each of you. Number one, there's a phrase that we use in personal development and business speak. Some people think it's not always applicable. However, here it is. How we do one thing is how we do everything. In my long years on this planet, I will say that is 99.9% true. Hang me up to dry if you disagree. Great. I've seen how you do one thing is how you do everything. I've seen this. It showed up today with clients. Here's the thing, gang. We are energy. Energy doesn't lie. And energy permeates everything else. So if we think of this from that lens, everything is connected. Everything. So this water bottle, I'm going to go brainiac here for a moment, but just bear with me. This water bottle is connected to this highlighter. Somehow, some way, there's energy in this and there's energy in this. So therefore, on this conversation, what we do with this somehow affects what we do with this, right? Butterfly effect. We've talked about this. It's out there. This isn't nothing new. However, people have blind spots about what they think they say that they'll do and what they do. They have blind spots with coming into coaching sessions. And this is the beauty of what I love. I do is I hold space. That's what I do. The other day, coaching jargon aside, this, that, and the other thing, I hold space. I actively listen. I allow someone to be heard, seen, and understood. That in of itself, for all of us, is one of the greatest gifts that we can have, to be fully seen, heard, and understood. Where the disconnect is the client A, for example, that shows up in a certain energy. They think that energy perhaps doesn't show up in their day-to-day life, in business, in work, in relationships, whatever. And newsflash, it does. It shows itself, it manifests itself. A crack in a foundation is a crack in a foundation. Lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig. These are things that are unavoidable. How you do one thing is how you do everything, right? You say you're going to do something, you follow up, you say you're going to do something again, and you don't do it. Well, that's not the only thing that's holding you back in your life, right? There's commitments, there's accountability issues, there's scheduling and priority issues. There's all these things that stem from that, right? Another thing is ownership, taking ownership over our shit. Yes. My Greek brother on the other side of the planet, mad love to you. Taking ownership. How many of us, myself included, have played the victim role? I was dealing with a client today dealing with this. Waving the victim flag about work. Fuck that. Burn that flag. Right? How do you take ownership? It's not what you think the reasons are for A, B, and C, and D. Right? Here I am. I'm afforded a very objective opinion of a situation. Sometimes I see things very, very clearly. My job is to obviously help people and steer people to have some of these observations themselves, as opposed to just telling them verbatim what the fuck is wrong with them, right? How to enrich their lives, how to up-level their lives. Sometimes that's needed, and sometimes there's a dance. Everything's a dance, right? Ownership. You know, you stepped in some wet cement, you stepped in wet cement. Take the ownership. I had a client today from Nicaragua who stood up and basically said, yeah, I did a boo-boo. It was my fault. I screwed up. So I'm human. I did it. Let's figure out a possible solution. Not only did he take ownership, but he came with the ownership and a possible solution. This is what I'd like to do moving forward. That's how fucking leadership happens. That is the future leaders of tomorrow, whether it's our kids, whatever. Taking ownership, holding your word. Back in the day, gang, come on. We didn't need all this mumbo jumbo about a 6-page business contract. Whatever happened to a good old fucking handshake? Your word was your word. Why does that have to be any different today? Right? Why can't we just take word at face value? Just like back in the day, way, way back in the day, your name was everything. Your name is what you had. And your code, your handshake, and your word was your contract. Whether that's to yourself now in this day and age, to your partnerships, to your work, to anything, that's the bottom line that should be struck. You are in a contract with yourself. Am I doing everything I can to show up and maximize this life? I'm no different. I've had these self-conversations with myself all the time. I have journals filled with shit of me having these discussions. And I'm not perfect. God knows I am not perfect. But I'm willing to have these discussions. I'm also willing to say, yeah, you know what? These are my own limiting beliefs. This is what's in my way. These are my roadblocks. I had this conversation with my coach just the other day. I can't get out of my flipping way on this one thing. And I am not achieving my goals because of this one thing. And sometimes I am a miserable wretch of a human being or an unhappy human being because I cannot get around this one thing. I need to figure out how to fucking bust through that wall, because on the other side of that is the promised land. So, yeah, I'm fired up. I'm fired up because at the end of the day, and I talk about this with my colleague Ben Smith, at the end of the day, people don't want to do the work. When I had the privilege of coaching for Leap Zone Strategies, 7-figure business, big companies would work with us. It's no different. Very successful companies. Came down to, did they want to do the work or did they not want to do the work? Business startups, do they want to do the work? Do they don't? Personal self-development, do they want to do the work or do they don't? You run a marathon? Well, guess what? You got to do the work. And somehow, some way, our dreams and everything we want in life gets hung up in the actual rolling up of our sleeves and doing the work. Why? Why set yourself up for failure? You know, one of my big things is I'm half a book Charlie. I'll go to the bookstore all jazzed up to read books. Do you know how many books I have that are half read? Same thing. I have my own shit. I can't fucking get through a book at all. Drives me nuts. And yet, I have a half a book Charlie bookcase over there sitting through. I don't even can tell you. I think I've read maybe 3 out of, I don't know, 20 some books. Whatever. That's just my shit. I'm rambling now. However, there it is, gang. Tie it back. Think about this. Take that one phrase. How you do one thing is how you do everything. Okay? Take that intention or that phrase and apply it to anything that shows up in your life. Because 9 times out of 10, it's going to be accurate. It's going to be truthful. Are you doing the work? Is your word your word? Are things getting in the way of your word or the work? May not mean that you don't have the right intention. It just means that maybe now systemization stuff, you need to set yourself up for success better. Are you not following through on something because maybe you need to, I'm looking at my calendar, maybe you need to have a better schedule. Maybe you have to have a system to walk you through the day, right? Whiteboards, this, old school lists, new wave technology, whatever it is. Yeah. So there it is, gang. All right. All that said, we can still kick ass, show up, take names, chew bubblegum, all that rowdy potty piper shit. And we can have fun. Doing the work, rolling up the sleeves can still be fun. I think that's the key component. We as adults, we jump forward and skip bringing the little child, the inner child with us when we have to do these things. So how you do one thing with your inner child is how you do everything with your inner child. There's an even better one for you. All right. Got to run. Got my last client of the day. Mad love to the courageous. Hold yourself accountable, gang. You don't need a coach. Truly, you should not need a coach for that. We all need a coach. We all need someone to talk to and to hold space and to be objective. But come on, if you want something, fucking do it. Do it. All right. There it is, gang. Cheers.